This is the national championship game. I know it's actually just the semifinal, but I get the sense that this might be for it all in a way. Um, Both would be a favorite over Miami, and even though Miami is favored ahead of Oregon to win it all, Indiana is still favored ahead of Miami despite having to play an additional game yet. Both of these teams are loaded. They're top two in efficiency metrics, top two in FEI. They are top three in FPI. Man, I am I am so excited. I'm so pumped. I I don't even know what to say. I don't. This is awesome. It is a game between two teams that we have been high on for pretty much the whole season. It's a game that was hard for me to pick. I went with Indiana because I thought they were the better team. I think they're the better team. We'll see if that's true. I'm nervous because I keep seeing a lot of sharps around Oregon here, and there are perfectly good reasons to think Oregon's going to win and cover. Um, but man, here we are. Here we are, and I'm hoping for an Indiana win to make me look right. But I will say that if Oregon wins, I won't really be super mad. I'll be mad in the sense that I want to be right, and my methods and my model tells me that Indiana's going to win this thing. But look, Oregon is a proud program. They're an elite program. They're going to compete for national championships after this season. There's just there's a lot on the line here. There is, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I can't. Really can't. And yeah, it looks like everyone's going to pick Indiana here on the show, which usually is the kiss of death if we're being honest, especially in a close game like this. But you never know at this rate. Wow. Crazy. Well, we have a rematch. Usually the loser of the first game wins the second game. We'll see if that stays true today. That was such a good game in Otson the first time around. Indiana won 30-20. Indiana was really the better team in just by a little margin in all aspects on the field, but Oregon could have easily won that game. Indiana could have also probably widened the lead had things gone a little bit differently. But it's a good game between two proud programs, and I am just beyond amped up. I'm anxious to see who's right. There is so much. There's just there's so much action on Oregon from sharps. Public loves Indiana here. Some sharps love Indiana too. Oregon is this Oregon is the most talented team left from blue chip ratio. Indiana is the oldest team left. It's just what a game it's going to be. And it's in Mercedes-Benz. It's in the Peach Bowl. I mean, how can't you love this, guys? How can't you love this? I'm hyped. I'm scared. I'm terrified. I'm anxious. There's so much here that's going to be oh so good. So much. How beautiful is this going to be? How beautiful. And we have until... Oh, guys, just, it's expensive. Oregon, so Oregon's going to travel to the Orange Bowl, then the Peach Bowl, and then the, they're going to have to travel back to what is the Orange Bowl again if they win this game. So it's just a lot of travel for Oregon fans, and Oregon fans have been to playoff games before. So for Indiana, like, this game, I guess you could say to most of the fans means more because they've never been this far before. For the Oregon fan, they've already traveled out this way. Also, another thing to keep in mind is there's probably way more Indiana alum than Oregon alum. And now that Indiana's winning, the Indiana fan base has just come alive. That's probably why, I would say. Got Greg McElroy and Sean McDonough on the call. I'm going to quickly go to the bathroom. I have to pee. But this is exciting. This is going to be fantastic, guys. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. We'll be right back. All right, we got less than 9 minutes until... We got less than 9 minutes until this thing's going. They're playing the national anthem right now. It's just... Man, this is about to be so good. Just texting someone real quickly. Okay. Wow. Whew. Crazy. Wow. Here we are. What are your guys' predictions? Let me know in the chat. Gonna kick off in 6 minutes, guys. It's here. Number 1 versus number 5, and really it's number 1 versus number 2, honestly. You know, Oregon's number 2 in efficiency metrics. They are number 2 in FEI. Indiana's number 1 in both of those. The Rough Daddy 2595. I'm ready to get my heart broken again. Don't worry. Don't worry. Oregon, if Oregon loses, if they do, and it's far from a guarantee, if they lose, you'll be back in this place next year with the type of team you've assembled, with how you've developed and how you've recruited. If you win, I can tell you right now, I'm going to be on Oregon to beat Miami. I just am. Like, I think the winner of this game wins the national title. And yes, this does look like a majority Hoosier crowd. Will that matter? It depends on how both of these teams play. Like, if IU is winning on the field, the crowd is only going to enhance it. If Oregon is winning, the crowd might help create a mistake, but Oregon's also they've beaten Iowa's crowd. They've beaten Penn State's crowd. Indiana's beaten Oregon's crowd. Like, both these teams have beaten very fierce crowds in fierce road environments. Remember, Indiana also beat Iowa, and they also beat Penn State. So it's crazy. And no, I don't think Oregon, I don't think this is going to be a blowout. If it is, I'll give credit to those who did. I do think Indiana's the better team and Indiana will win, and there are avenues for them to dominate, just in the same way that Oregon has avenues to win, and there are probably avenues for Oregon to dominate this game. Yeah. I think it's going to be competitive. This is a game that will probably come down to, like, I don't know. This will probably come down to the final possession type game is what this will probably come down to. I mean, I would be shocked if this thing were over by the fourth quarter. I would. I think this will be over when the clock hits 0. Could be wrong, maybe. But we'll see. I mean, there are plenty of people I respect who are picking Oregon here. There are plenty of people I respect who are picking Indiana, and there are people I don't respect who are picking one or the other. So this is crazy. Trey, for context, have I have Indiana winning this thing. And I picked them to cover because it's mathematically unlikely that they win and cover. It's just, it's hard for a team that's only favored by 4.5 to not cover and win, just mathematically speaking. That's challenging. And now Oregon's going to come out. And yeah, this is a very biased Hoosier crowd, for sure. Curious to see what happens. Hey, Jimmy Chunga guy. Nice to see you in here. Glad that you're on the stream, and thank you to all the moderators for being on here. That way we can blow out any of the bot attacks that come up. Oh, I believe that Lanning looks like he's on coke. I believe that. Or Oregon's going to come out probably on fire, and it'll depend on how Indiana responds. Not saying Indiana won't come out on fire, but you know, Oregon Oregon is the underdog here. They're in the hostile environment. I think how Oregon starts matters more here than how IU starts. Also, given how the last game went, Oregon did start off, I think, hotter in the last game with the explosive play, and Indiana was just able to weather the storm. But this is going to be a great and incredible game for sure. You know, both teams look healthy, physical, pumped up, excited. T-minus 2 minutes until kickoff, guys. Going to kick off at 7:45, and we'll have, I mean, the game will probably end at 11:30, I would say. So it's going to be 3 hours and 45 minutes of glory. Excited to see what happens. This is it. One minute, guys. NFL starts right on time because the NFL is its own league. I forget how this was explained. College football, the start times are when the broadcast starts, and in the NFL, the start times are when the game actually kicks off, is how it works for whatever reason. Don't know the explanation beyond that. That was just explained to me at some point. Okay, 40 seconds. This is going to be incredible. This is going to be so good. I'm happy for whatever team wins. May the best team win on this given Saturday. This is so beautiful. If you guys see me cry at any point, do not make fun of me. This is what college football is all about. I know some people hate the rematches, think it devalues the regular season. It doesn't. Of course, emphasis will be placed on this game, and rightfully so. But ultimately, like, the regular season still matters. It does. I mean, that was a program win for Indiana to beat Oregon in the regular season. Same with the win over Ohio State. Same with the win over Alabama. Those were all pretty big program wins. Here we go. So Indiana won the toss and elected to defer. And what is an epic rematch, the biggest rematch of the year, has begun. Let's get this rolling. So Indiana's going to kick this off. Oregon will receive. Dante Moore will see the field first, along with Noah Whittington, who was a game-time decision but is going to play. We'll get to see an epic Oregon offense that is among one of the most productive in all of college football. For a right to appear in the national championship, for the right to play in Hard Rock Stadium against Miami, here we go. Indiana kicks it off. And Oregon is going to try to return this thing, and they get stopped, I think, right at the 20. So that's where Oregon will begin. Get to see Dante Moore, DeCorian Moore, Malik Benson, Gary Bryant Jr. Those are the receivers. Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end. Dante Moore is obviously the star-studded quarterback. Noah Whittington and De'Aaron Hill Jr. will be your top two running backs in this game. The offensive line from left to right, left tackle to right tackle, Isaiah World, Emmanuel Pregnan, Yapani Lololu, Dave Iuli, and Alex Harkey. And it looks like we have some type of injury here or some error. Don't exactly know what happened, but there's something going on. Don't totally know what's going on, but both teams are huddled up. Looks like just, yep. Okay, the offense is heading out. Here we go. And then for Indiana's defense, D-line, we got Michael Kamara, Tyreek Tucker, Mario Landino, and Daniel Nduke. Linebackers were Elijah Hardy and Aiden Fisher. The secondary, Jamari Sharp, Lewis Moore, Amari Farrell, D'Angelo Pons, and Devin Boykin. Here we go. 80 yards to the end zone if you're Oregon. Probably 50 yards to at least get in Atticus Sappington's range. Indiana, 2 high safety defense. Looks like a classic 4-2-5. Dante Moore going to step back to pass, and it's picked off, and Indiana is going to return it for 6. Pick 6 on the first play of the game, and IU already has a turnover. Wow. And was that who I think it was? I think that was D'Angelo Pons. Yes. Indiana's already scored first play of the game. Wow. Moore tried to force it in there, and Indiana's defense gets a defensive touchdown. Wow. Wow, oh, wow, oh, wow. Boy. Well, we already got a touchdown within the first minute of the game. And Indiana makes the extra point, and it's good. So on the replay here, let me see what happens. So Oregon's in a pretty tight formation, and Dante Moore just should not have thrown that. Indiana was in a zone, and it looked like they confused him yet again. Wow. Crazy. And Indiana is already up 7-0. Yup, D'Angelo Pons with the pick 6. That's crazy. And Indiana's up 7-0. Wow. Now don't forget, people, it's still very early. Very, very, very early. Oregon's just going to let this one bounce in the back of the end zone, and they're going to come out on offense again. That was a crazy play by Pons. And the 10th interception of the year for Dante Moore. Remember last year, or last matchup, Moore had the, not Moore, but Fernando Mendoza threw the pick 6. They toss it out there. I believe that's to De'Air Hill Jr. It is, for a gain of about 4. It's going to be 2nd and 6. Jay Harris is in the game now. They're going to run it. And Harris is going to pick up that first down for a gain of 7. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Ducks. Good stiff arm there by Harris. Matched up against number 22, Jamari Sharp, the left corner. And Oregon picks up the first down of the game. If you're Oregon here, you need to calm some nerves, get a few first downs at the minimum, if not score, with that early pick 6, because IU's crowd has now definitely been activated. Play action pass. They're going to get it out on a screen, and they're, I think, maybe going to pick up the first down there. Yes, they will. They are going to. Another first down for Oregon, this time on a screen. They're going to move the chains. They're already out to their own 48-yard line. This is going to be a war. This is going to be an absolute war. Multiple tight ends in the game. Oregon gets another positive rush. I think this time it's a 3-yard rush, maybe a 4-yard rush. It's going to be 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6. They're going to call it 2nd and 7. So a gain of 3 for the Ducks. 2nd and 7, they're already in Indiana territory. Yeah, they're in 12 personnel there. And it's dropped. Jamari Johnson, he wanted that football, but he just couldn't bring it in. It's incomplete. So 3rd and 7 from the 49 of Indiana. That was a good throw by Moore. Jamari Johnson just couldn't quite reel it in. It's dropped. Very weird formation for Oregon here. They got the sim pressure out, and they do pick up a first down there. Malik Benson on a cross over the middle. So they convert the 3rd down, and it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 40. Nice design there, just trying to, pick up a few yards, maybe go for it on 4th down, or at least pick up the first down. Not trying to get too explosive, not trying to save the day, just trying to extend the chains there. Nice tackle and hard hit by D'Angelo Pons. Oregon huddling, taking their sweet time. They are going to run it. And they do pick up a gain of 3. That was nice. Like breaking through initial contact by Jay Harris. He could have been stopped for a TFL, was able to get through the tackle. It's going to be 2nd and 7. We have yet to see Indiana's offense against Oregon's defense. We have yet to see that. Moore, going to run it with Harris. Harris is able to pick up a gain of, I would say, 5. It's going to be 3rd and 3. So that Oregon rushing attack right now is doing a pretty good job. Pretty good job. They're close to field goal range. It is 3rd and 3. Wouldn't be shocked if Oregon runs this again to try and set up a 3rd and very short. Would not be shocked at all. Harris is back there with Dante Moore. Indiana does look a little bit confused. And I think they pick up the first down there. Yes, they do. Throw to Jay Harris. It's converted by Dante Moore. Indiana hasn't gotten a lot of pressure yet. They have not. and they were able to catch Indiana, I believe, a little bit off guard there. IU just brought 4. It was picked up nicely. Number 0 for Indiana almost got there, at being Jose Wheeler, but too little too late, and Oregon is able to move the chains. Dante Moore, run up the middle, is going to be probably a 6-yard gain on the zone read. Maybe a 5-yard gain is going to be second and medium. They listed as a 6-yard gain. So this has been a nice drive by Oregon in response. Really good drive by the Ducks here. Consuming time, running a good amount of plays. They're able to gain some momentum back here. And they're doing a good job moving this Indiana defense so far. Moore, play action. He gets it out to Kenyon Sadiq, and Sadiq is able to pick up a first down. And they're inside the 20. They're at the 17. They're in the red zone here. They didn't get here very often against Indiana the first time. But now they're here. And someone called the timeout. Wouldn't be shocked if it was Indiana using their first. Yep, Indiana calls their first timeout of the game. 8:04 left in the first quarter. I do not think that Indiana likes that Oregon's been able to methodically move this football down the field on them. And I understand why. Wow. Thank you guys for monitoring the chat. I appreciate it very much. So far, this has been a good game, I would say. If you're Indiana, what you need here is to hold them to a field goal, get another turnover, something along those lines to keep building that momentum. If you're Oregon here, now that you're in the red zone, unless it's a 4th and long or 4th and medium, Lanning's going to go for it. Like if it's 4th and 3, 4th and 2, 4th and 1, Lanning's going for it here. They're absolutely going to go for it. So, curious to see how that all shakes out. Wow. Wow. That pick six, it happened so quickly. That was D'Angelo Pons right there with that. That could happen, pissed off Ohio. And I mean, the way that Oregon's driving this thing, I mean, they're beating Indiana's defense right now. That could happen. It could be a tale of two games. Anxious to see what Indiana's offense looks like, though. They have not been on the field yet, and we're almost halfway through the first quarter. So I'm curious to see how that looks. Okay, we're back. So it's 1st and 10 from the Indiana 17. They used a timeout, try to collect themselves, with Oregon being on this, what is right now a very long and impressive drive after that pick six that Dante Moore threw to D'Angelo Pons. Oregon in a very heavy set right now. Wonder if they're going to run. Could be a play action. They got multiple tight ends in this thing, though. They are going to hand it off, and Harris is going to be tackled in the backfield. That's a 2-yard loss. It'll be 2nd and 12. Kamara in on the play. And now Oregon is in, more likely than not, kind of an obvious passing situation. Second and 12 from the 19. They tried getting Indiana's defense with motion, and they didn't. Deerhill Jr. checks in the game. Looks like Indiana might be sending some type of sim pressure. We'll see. They only send 3. They only bring 3. Dante Moore, incomplete, out of the end zone. They're not going to call a flag for that. It's going to be 3rd and 12. Out of the back of the end zone. So if you gain 9 here, 9 yards, I think Lanning's going for it. If this is a 4th and longer than 4 or 5, they're going to kick the field goal. Oregon's 2 of 2 on 3rd down right now. This is their 3rd of the game. Moore is back there with Noah Whittington. Think this is 12 personnel yet again. Oregon's done a good job so far in pass pro. IU is going to send some simulated pressure looks. They get in the end zone. Touchdown, Ducks. Jamari Johnson on the seam route over the middle. Oregon picked up the pressure. Dante Moore delivered. And Oregon gets a touchdown on a 19-yard reception by Jamari Johnson. It's going to be tied 7-7. Nice response drive there by the Ducks. And Atticus Sappington will be on for the extra point. And now we'll get to see Indiana's offense out. So Oregon so far, 3 of 3 on 3rd down. Dante Moore's had a good game outside of that pick 6, really. And this thing's going to be tied. So like I said, it's going to be a war. You know, Oregon responded to that early Indiana play where they blew up Oregon's offense, and now Oregon's defense is going to get on the field. And yes, if Oregon pulls this off, Night Owl, they're beating Miami. Seven 7. Ducks tie it up after that early pick 6. 14 plays, 75-yard drive, 7 minutes, 38 seconds of possession was eaten up. Now let's see Fernando Mendoza and this Indiana offense. Yeah, Oregon's O-line right now looks really good in both pass pro and run blocking. It's a really good O-line performance right now. Then again, honestly, in the regular season game, they look good too. It was just more so of Dante Moore, like making mistakes and taking sacks. Let's see what Indiana does, though. A lot of worries in the chat right now from Indiana fans after that drive. All depends on what Oregon's offense is able, or Indiana's offense is able to do here. I mean, Indiana's defense won the first series with that pick 6. They then won the second series with that long drive. We have not seen Fernando Mendoza in Indiana yet. We have not. We have not. All right, it's back. 7-7. So Indiana's going to receive the ball after halftime. They deferred. Defense got them a touchdown, but IU scored a touchdown here on what really was their opening drive because Oregon's first drive only had one play. That was the pick six. This is going to be Indiana's first drive. Let's see what happens. What does Indiana respond with? And Oregon kicks it, hits back of the end zone for a touchback, and we'll get to see Fernando Mendoza and this Indiana offense come out. So Mendoza, their quarterback, their backs are Roman Hemby and Kalen Black. Tight end, Riley Nowakowski. Receivers, Elijah Surratt, E.J. Williams, Omar Cooper Jr., and Charlie Becker. And the O-line from left to right, Carter Smith, Drew Evans, Pat Coogan, Bray Lynch, and Ada Demola Ajani. Oregon's defense, meanwhile, D-line, Mateo Uyungale, Bear Alexander, Amari Washington, Tatum Tuioti. Linebackers are Bryce Betcher and Jerry Mixon. Indiana loves to run tons of RPO. They are going to run the ball here outside and pick up, I would say, a respectable gain of probably 6 right there. Maybe 7. Nice blocking up front. It's going to be second and short. Oregon's secondary is Ifeah Badegwu, Aaron Flowers, Dylan Thieneman, Brandon Finney Jr., and Jaden Kennedy. 3 redshirt or true freshmen, a junior and a redshirt senior. It's a young group, but a very talented group. It's probably, outside of maybe their D-line, the strength of the defense. And my apologies, that was a 1-yard gain on the ground, not a 6-yard gain. My bad. My eyes misread me. Mendoza quickly to throw. It is caught past the 30 by Elijah Surratt. It's going to be a 5-yard gain, and it is going to be 3rd and 4. So already a third down. Oregon was 3 of 3 on these third downs. Indiana, this is going to be their first of the game. Would love to get a conversion here if you're the Hoosiers, because Oregon just went on a very long drive where they figured out your defense. Oregon is going to send a blitz. It is picked up, and it is caught by Surratt out of bounds for a first down. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the Oregon 46. Beautiful back shoulder throw to Surratt. He catches it, maintains possession, gets multiple feet in bounds. It's an NFL catch. It's an NFL throw. He got Ifeah Badegwu there. Now Indiana moving the football. They're going to Hemby with nice blocks, runs up the middle. Hemby gets a good gain there. Probably, I think, a gain of 4. Maybe a gain of 5. Yeah, they're going to list it as a gain of 4, so it's going to be 2nd and 6. Both O-lines so far are pass blocking at a pretty high level, I would say. Only tackle for loss through 10 minutes has been with Michael Kamara. 2nd and 6 for Indiana. Oregon has a few men in the box. Did someone call the timeout? Oh, nope, flag. It's going to be false start on Indiana. See, this is a Big 12 ref crew. And Big 12 ref crews call flags. Big 10 ref crews do not. Yeah, that was Ada Demola Ajani, redshirt freshman at right tackle. So Indiana now behind the sticks. They are going to hand it off to Kalen Black. Black is going to get all the way down with some extra push, maybe to the 45. Got probably 5 or 6 of that back, so it's going to be 3rd and medium. Gets down to the 40. My apologies. So I got a lot of that back. Got like a 7-yard gain there. It's going to be 3rd and 4. Wonder what Indiana's going to do here. They're going to run it? They're going to pass it? What's going to happen? They face another 3rd and 4. It's going to be a drop back pass. Mendoza. It's caught by Surratt, and it is going to be a first down. Not Surratt, it's Nowakowski. 1st and 10 from the 35. And Indiana's driving this thing early on their first offensive possession. So both teams right now, 100% on 3rd down offensively. The offenses are beating the defenses so far. Nice little pick play there. This is going to be a handoff. Kaelon Black is going to plow forward, get inside the 30. It's another long run, another well-blocked play. It's going to be 2nd and short. 2nd and 4 to be specific. Oregon rotating in defensive linemen and rotating them out. Bear Alexander's in the game right now. They're going to hand it off to Hemby. Hemby is a crease up the middle, nicely blocked by Indiana, and that is a first down. So both offensive lines beating both defensive lines is another takeaway I have from these opening series. But again, it's very early. I mean, we've only had one drive each, true drive for each offense so far. We've only had that. Really beautiful blocking downfield by Indiana there. It is going to be another run for Kaelon Black. Hemby, he has the corner. He got down inside the 5. It is going to be 1st and goal for Indiana. So they're coming up with a sustainable drive themselves. Got him out at the 7, I believe. Let's see if that is indeed where he stepped out. No. I think he stepped out at the 2, but I don't know if they're going to review that. It's 1st and goal from the 6. So those yards could matter, but they also may not matter. They're going to run it again, and Hemby is tackled in the backfield for a loss of 1. That was number 29 in on the play. 29 being Ashton Porter. Who's 6'3", 290. So now 2nd and goal for the Hoosiers. Indiana huddling. Both of these teams are not using a lot of tempo. They're using a lot of timing. The first quarter is almost already over, and this game's only been on for like 30 minutes. That's crazy. And touchdown Indiana. They got it to Omar Cooper Jr. on an out route, and Indiana scores a touchdown to go up 14-7. 8-yard receiving touchdown by Omar Cooper Jr. So both quarterbacks each have a touchdown, each have had a sustainable drive, and that was a 11-play, 75-yard drive for 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So, boom. There you have it. Pretty incredible, if I do say so myself. Both teams have been running the football well. I think Indiana's been running the football better. Indiana's looked more efficient so far. Obviously, the interception helps, but that was a nice response drive there by Oregon. It's now going to be 14-7. Both defenses are struggling early. Both offenses have capitalized off of their first true drive. We only got 40 seconds left in the first quarter. The pick six is really the difference here. Otherwise, both offenses have done a pretty good job. But the pick six is the real difference in this one, which I think is pretty obvious. Could be a shootout if this continues, but again, these are the scripted drives here because this is the first drive for each offense, the first true drive. So we're going to see these defenses adjust throughout the game. Both teams were combined 5 of 5 on third down. Only one penalty's been committed. That's by Indiana. Each team is they both have a combined 10 first downs. They have a combined 155 total yards. So this is a quarter of offense so far. That's for sure. Wow. And we have a commercial break, so we all know that after Oregon runs like 2 plays, we're going to get another commercial break. Wow. Well, we got fireworks so far. I mean, Indiana scored 30 points in the first matchup. They've already scored 14, so nearly half of that. Oregon scored 20 in the first matchup. They have 7, so they've scored a little over a third. This looks like the total is probably going to hit the over. But we'll see. Oregon's offense is going to get the ball back. Down 14-7. And Oregon's just going to let this ball bounce in the back of the end zone for a touchback, and Oregon will get the football back out. 1st and 10 for the Ducks at their own 25. I mean, that was just both offenses cooked both defenses. What else can I say? It's a good route. Omar Cooper Jr. has the ability to get away from number 21, Aaron Flowers. Like, Aaron Flowers on Omar Cooper Jr. is a mismatch in favor of Indiana. That's going to go like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 times the way of Oregon. Little counteraction there, and Oregon gets maybe a gain of 4. It's going to be 2nd and 6. That was Harris on the run, like a nice little counter with motion there. 2nd and 6 for the Ducks. Neither offense has been behind the chains, all but like probably 2 times for IU with the TFL in the false start and once for Oregon with the TFL they gave up. This will probably be Oregon likes to use some tempo. So this is going to be probably the second to last play of the first quarter. Let's see if they run a play here. Nope, they don't. That's the end of the first quarter. Indiana's ahead 14-7 at the end of the first quarter. Indiana at the end of the first quarter is given a 79.6% chance to win this game. That's tied with their high right after the pick 6. Let's see what both teams can do after this quarter. There will be a commercial break. Going to be a great game. Back in time for a few more commercials? Yup, that's how it works. Wow. So incredible first quarter so far. Sko Ducks lefty Lou. Advantage stock trading. I agree the D-line from IU probably needs an adjustment. They are missing Daly. But Oregon, I mean, it didn't look like Indiana did much of anything exotic there at first. Maybe I'm wrong. It really looks like both defenses were kind of just running their base stuff and seeing like what the scripted drive looked like. You know, what do these teams want to attack type thing. But end of the first quarter already. I imagine 9 to 9:15 will be halftime, I would presume. Sam, didn't your guest say something like that could happen because on Dante's tendencies? Are you talking about the pick six, G? Talking about the pick six? Because, yeah, Dante... Oh, yeah, Buff T-Cal. Yes, about not seeing... Like, he locks his eyes on one defender, misses the others, and that creates turnovers. I mean, he just threw his 10th interception of the year. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason Mendoza has a better TD-INT ratio than he does. Not saying Oregon can't win. I mean, Oregon can easily win. It's still very, very early. Very early. We've only seen 2 true offensive drives total. So hold your horses a little bit. For anyone like trying to make takeaways about who's going to win this or that. This is basically tied if not for the pick six. If IU doesn't commit any more mistakes, that could really come back to bite Oregon. But Oregon's defense forced a turnover in the first game, and they're a really good unit. So this is a war between 2 elite coaches, 2 elite staffs, 2 elite teams relative to this year. I'm curious to see what happens, what adjustments any of these teams make now that we've kind of settled in here. They are going to hand it off. Harris gets good push, honestly. It's another 4-yard gain up the middle. It's going to be 3rd and I would say 3rd and 2. Maybe they're going to give him 3rd and 1. No, they're going to make it 3rd and 1.5, maybe 3rd and 2. Yep, 3rd and 2 is what they're gonna clock it. IU rotates, trying to utilize some of their depth. They're so much deeper than they were last year. Oregon, younger team than they were last year, but better in a lot of different regards. It is 3rd and 2. I'm curious to see if they're going to try to run it or if they're going to pass it. They are going to run this thing up the middle, and it results in a 2-yard TFL. So if you're Oregon, you punt here. Maybe if you got stopped, you'd think about going for it. Maybe you'll still think about going for it on the fake, but Indiana gets a necessary stop there for their defense. It's going to be 4th and 3, maybe 4th and 4. Yeah, that's 4th and 3.5. Indiana probably watching out for the fake here. Dan Lanning is like known to run these things. They are not going to fake this. They try to punch it. Yep. And it's going to be downed inside the 20. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for Indiana inside the 20. Good stop by the Hoosier defense there. Nice punt, by the way, by James Ferguson Reynolds. That was, it bounced a little bit, but that was like 45 yards on air. 5-yard bounce. Good. That was a good punt by Oregon. Now Oregon's defense needs a stop here. Because Indiana getting up by, say, 2 scores, like a full 2 scores, a touchdown, field goal's a bit different. 21-7 at this stage in the game with them getting the ball at a halftime is going to be hard to come back from with how these defenses operate. So, curious to see how that goes. It's been a good game so far, very back and forth. See an Oregon fan already saying it's over. I don't think it's over. Wait. It's not over until the clock hits 0. If IU's ahead by... until the end of the third quarter, I'm never going to say it's over because crazy stuff happens. But I don't think this one's over. There's a lot of football left to play. A lot of football left to play. We're not even a third of the way through this game. And it's early. Adjustments can be made. Things can settle in. Momentum-changing plays can be made. This is far from over. Don't come here. Don't come here and tell me that this game is over already. Come on, guys. I'd be saying the same thing if it were Oregon 14, Indiana 7. Game would not be over. Now, Oregon needs the momentum play here because if Indiana goes down and makes it 21-7, that crowd is going to be, nuts. It's going to be louder than ever, and then Oregon would be in a multi-possession hole in a game between two teams that have been clear about their desire to use up the clock. That would be a sign for panic then. But we'll see. We shall see. Have about probably 3 more hours of this game. So, Oregon got Indiana forced to stop. Can Oregon force a stop? Find out here in probably 30 seconds to 60 seconds, maybe. Yep. So teams are back out there. It's 1st and 10 for Indiana. They lead 14-7, 1st and 10 at their own 18. Got to go 82 yards for a touchdown. Probably have to go 52 yards to get into close enough to Nico Radicic's field goal range. They did a really good job running the football straight up the middle on the last drive. And Mendoza was a perfect 4 of 4 for 41 yards and a touchdown. So can't expect that type of efficiency all night. Curious to see what adjustments, if any, Oregon makes here. Indiana is going to hand it off to Kaelon Black. He stopped right at the line of scrimmage. That was Dylan Thieneman, who already has, that was his 4th tackle of the day. He was in there to stop it right at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 2nd and 10. So Oregon, looking for a stop of their own, did a nice job shutting down the run there. Kaelon Black picks up a gain of 2, maybe 3 on the run. It's going to be 3rd and 7. No, they're going to list it 3rd and 8. So Oregon doing obviously emphasizing stop the run on the RPO because that's what causes problems for the Hoosiers. It's up to Elijah Surratt, Noah Kowski, Omar Cooper Jr. Looks like Oregon is going to try to send press. Yeah, they're going to send the house here. Mendoza going to try to escape. He does. Mendoza down the sidelines, and he picks up a 1st down for Indiana, converting it with his legs. He gave him issues with his legs the last time. They did not really have a spy on him. They put a defensive lineman, read that he was escaping, but he's just too slow for the very lanky Mendoza. And, who was that? That was 52. That's Amari Washington. Amari Washington's an NFL defensive tackle. A D tackle versus Mendoza's mobility when Mendoza has the angle is not going to do anything. So 1st and 10 at the 41 of Indiana. That was a big pickup. They are going to try to run this. Kaelon Black is going to get a gain of 4. And there is going to be a flag at the end. And I think that's going to be on Oregon. Unsure, but I think that's going to be on Oregon. Yup. Chop block on Oregon. Moves it 15 yards, so Indiana will have it 1st and 10 at the 40. Personal foul on the Ducks. Just cannot have that penalty, man. Can't have it if you're Oregon. Yup. went very low to try to take out 78. Tried to take out center Pat Coogan there on the run. And he did. It stopped the play. Can't do that, though. It's illegal. Indiana now in Oregon territory. Mendoza's been basically perfect so far. They are going to hand it off to Hemby. Hemby gets inside the 40. It's going to be 2nd down and 7. 3-yard gain by Hemby. It's going to be a pass, batted at the line, deflected. It's going to be 3rd and 7 from inside the 40. Nice ball batted down there against Mendoza. So another 3rd and long. Oregon failed to get off the field the last time. But what about this time? And do they try a field goal if they miss it? Do they punt? What do they do? It is going to be a straight drop back pass. It is batted up in the air. And Mendoza takes a sack. That was a nice play by Oregon. Wyatt there, Nasir Wyatt bringing the pressure. They got to him, caused a fumble that Indiana then recovered. Hoosiers were lucky to recover it. That's like a loss of nearly 20 yards. Just nothing open. Ajani, the right tackle, gets beaten straight up. He probably had an open man on the dig route there, but they got pressure. And Indiana's going to have to punt this football away. So an opportunity to put Oregon really behind here. And the Hoosiers are going to have to punt this football away. They get it off, and it's just a return of like 5 yards. Oregon will have it at their own 13. Nice tackling on special teams. So both defenses force a punt there. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Oregon. 9:35 left in the second quarter. TOP's pretty equal. Yards pretty equal. First downs pretty equal. Yeah, that sack was huge on Mendoza. That it was as someone said, a disaster. Huge sack by Oregon, and Nasir Wyatt there in on the play. True freshman too. So both defenses seeming like they're settling in now. And nice punt by Mitch McCarthy. Gary Bryant Jr. only returned it 5 yards to the Oregon 13. So now 87 yards for the Ducks to get a touchdown. Probably need 57 of those to be comfortable in letting Atticus Sappington kick a field goal. Still a good game. Only difference right now is the pick 6. And Oregon almost forced a turnover there, but Mendoza had a fortuitous bounce on that fumble. They're probably going to have to help out. They're probably going to have to help out Ajani there. The right side, Landon Tengwall has talked about this. The right side of the IU O-line is much weaker than the left side. So Oregon knows this, as any good defense does. They're going to attack it. They might need to give him some help there. Might need to give him some help. Let's see what Oregon does. Hello, Bald Father Betts. How are you doing? Yeah, commercials are just the bane of my existence. First and 10 for Oregon. Both defenses are able to force a punt. Both have 2 TFLs. Oregon has a sack plus an additional TFL. Indiana has no sacks but 2 TFLs independent of pass rush. First and 10 from the 13. Oregon, it's going to be a quick screen, batted at the line. And are they going to call... They're not... Yeah, that's an incomplete pass. Are they going to call that a fumble? They're going to call it a fumble. What? I thought that was a pass. But they're going to call that a fumble. What happened there? What? I need to see this. I believe that was an incompletion. What happened? Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a fumble. Oh my God. It's a comedy of errors for Oregon. It's a comedy of errors. That's a fumble. So Moore steps back to throw, and as he releases, it hits the arm of his running back. Holy cow. Yeah, Lanning's like, oh my gosh. Jeez, that's bad. So Oregon, a bad read, pick 6. Mistiming of the play action / route by the running back. Fumble inside the 5. You really need to hold Indiana to a field goal here. Kalon Black is going to hurdle and get probably a 2-yard gain, maybe a 1.5-yard gain on 2nd and goal. Wow. Oh boy, that is rough for Oregon. Rough, to say the least. Yeah, it's a gain of 1. Black up the middle. He's going to get down to the 1. It's going to be 3rd and goal. Imagine Indiana's going to try to pound this one up the middle yet again. But we'll see. That was a huge turnover. Huge turnover by Oregon. Like, that was all Oregon. Probably some nerves from Moore in the Oregon offense for sure. And Black gets in the end zone. Touchdown, Hoosiers. Indiana goes up 22-7. They establish a 2-score lead in this football game. Wow. Unbelievable. Like, for Oregon to make this many mistakes early, I find to be unbelievable. And again, I don't know if this game's over. Don't say it. Please, guys, do not say this game's over yet. It's not. We got to see more. Got to see more. Oregon's a good enough team to make a comeback here. But this is not a good start for Oregon whatsoever. Not a good start at all. Not a good start. And IU makes the extra point to make it 21-7. And yes, it's Baldfather says, and Baldfather, I've referenced his video as a great example for why Oregon can win and cover. Right now, these teams athletically look about the same on the field. Like, Oregon is more athletic. I've said that Oregon's more athletic. Indiana's probably physically stronger, and I think you've seen that in the rushing attack between these two teams so far. IU being stronger only because they're older. And you've spotted Indiana 2 touchdowns. So it's so hard to beat a team like that. And again, that crowd's going to be wild. And with Indiana having, a pick 6, they got a rushing touchdown. They've if you take out that sack on Mendoza, which was 20 yards, they already have 72 rushing yards on 15 carries. which is pretty crazy. They're basically averaging 5 yards per carry. It's going to be hard to come back. Not saying they can't. They can. The chat's already saying this game's over. I'm not saying it's over. It's not. But if you're Oregon, you got to regroup, because if you keep messing up, this team's going to take advantage of it. Essentially, I mean, you've gifted Indiana 2 touchdowns here. This place is going to be rocking. This is not at all how Oregon played against Penn State on the road, where they were very clean. And yeah, it's just, I don't know what's going on with Oregon, but it's not looking good early. Not one bit. And you only have 8:17 left in the second quarter. Like, if you're Oregon, you need points. You need a touchdown. Because if you punt the ball back, you can just go on a very long drive and make it a 3-score lead in the half, and then come out the third quarter and blow this thing open. And if that's the case, then that might be, like, if it's 31-7 early third quarter, the game's probably over. And there's a pathway for that to happen now with the 2 turnovers and how IU's been able to move the football. It's no bueno. Not good. Not good. Yeah, this place is rocking with Hoosiers. (21-7), Indiana. They get the ball to start the second half, so if you're the Ducks here, you have got to get a touchdown. I mean, maybe in theory you could get a field goal, get something on the board. That's probably the better way of looking at it, because it's still early. You got to get points. You got to go down there and get some type of points to cool everything down. Brennan Frankie's going to kick this one off. 21-7 Indiana in the Peach Bowl. And Oregon will just let this one bounce in the back of the end zone for a touchback. So 1st and 10 for the Ducks at their 25. They're huddling. Indiana's defense has been pretty well rested. Haven't had to do a whole lot. They've given up only one long drive, taken advantage of another gift from Oregon, forced the pick 6. Oregon going to try to run this thing, and they're going nowhere. Nowhere. It's going to be a loss of 1, maybe half yard. Tyreek Tucker in on the stop. Got back like barely to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 2nd and 10. Moore, drop back to pass, and he's got it over the middle. It is going to be a 1st down. 15 yards, got it to Harris over the middle. That was a nice route. They put him out there as a receiver. And they're moving the ball, and they have it 1st and 10 at their own 40. Going quick tempo. They got Harris over the middle. Got very close to a 1st down. They got Indiana's defense there. What people got to understand, and some people didn't when previewing this game, is this is not Alabama. Oregon is a totally different animal than Alabama. Totally different animal. IU's going to rotate. Sub some guys in. Sub guys out. Indiana communicating what they see. Oregon, it's going to be a play action pass, and Dante Moore is going to get pressured and sacked. That was a sack by number 91, Dominique Ratcliffe, the defensive tackle. and Indiana registers their first sack of the day. And that was a coverage sack. He had someone deep, but there was a safety there. And his other deep route, I believe a corner route to a tight end, was also covered. So a 10-yard sack for Oregon. They have it 3rd and 12 at their 38. Yeah, he had someone deep, but just pretty much everything was covered. And then by the time something got open, pressure was already in his face, and he just had to take the sack there. Looks like Indiana's going to bring some pressure. They do. They sell out. Dante Moore is just going to have to fall down, and Oregon will punt. Duque and Isaiah Jones in on the pressure. And bad has turned to worse for Oregon. 4th and 18 at their own 32. They're going to have to punt this football away. The Ducks will. Yeah, Moore didn't even take a sack there. He just fell down. James Ferguson Reynolds to punt this football away. It's going to be a returned all the way out to the 38. That was Jonathan Brady. So IU gets good field position. That's a pretty poor net punt of like 34 yards. IU gets good field position and a chance to make this a 3-score game. Wow. This is just... I mean, Indiana made adjustments. Oregon made adjustments. I mean, if you're IU and you already have 2 TFLs, 2 sacks, I mean, this is starting to look a little bit like the first game, except if it were in Bloomington. It's not over. It's very far from over. But, like, say Indiana gets a touchdown here and they come out of half with the football, it's going to be very hard to come back. Very, very hard to come back. Wow. This is getting crazy. It's getting tight. Because Oregon's going to have to come up with another stop or even a defensive play to even this one out. Because both teams were about to get to the 2-minute warning and neither has breached 100 yards yet. The defenses have made adjustments. But Oregon's just given up 2 turnovers that have resulted in touchdowns, and Indiana's winning the field position battle. That's the difference right now. That's the difference. Wow. Just crazy what we've seen so far in this game. Wow. Wow. It's not over, guys. Stop it. It's not over. Not over. Stop it, please. It's not over. Oregon's a good enough team. I respect them very much to where this one's not over. If we're midway through the third quarter and it's 31-7, then I might say it's over. Then I might say that. But like we got to wait. It's a ways until that. We're only 25 minutes and 3 seconds through this game. It's a 2-score game. Yes, Indiana gets the football at a half. Yes, they're winning the turnover battle. But calm down, guys. Neither team's broached 100. Both defenses have adjusted. Both have started getting pressure on the quarterback. This game's not over. Now, is IU favored to win? You bet. Do odds say that Indiana's going to win this game? Hell yes, they do. But it's not over. If you think this is over... Okay, we got a super chat here that I'm going to have to answer. So, pop out chat. Here we go. Okay, come on. Give me the overlay. That was just maybe a one. Yeah, that was a 1 yard gain out of the backfield to Black. Okay, we do have a super chat here. Just going to keep it up. Both defenses have really stepped up, and I mean really stepped up since those opening scripted drives. Straight drop back pass. And it's caught by Surratt with PI. Holy moly. Holy moly. Who was covering him? That was Theron Johnson. Holy moly. That's insane. Wow. Just like back shoulder, one-handed catch. Theron Johnson was interfering with him. That is insane. Insane, man. That's crazy. Mendoza. He's just going to take it himself. It's caught. Gains maybe 8 to Omar Cooper Jr. 7. So it's going to be 2nd and 3 from the 36 of Oregon. Approaching the 2-minute warning. Play action. Mendoza going for the kill shot. And he's got it. Charlie Becker for a touchdown. Big play for Indiana. 28-7. This is about to get ugly. Wow. Going to be 28-7, and this is out of hand already. Not saying it's over. I think it's a little bit too early still, but my goodness. 28-7. Yeah, I mean, they're beating Oregon's DBs on every play. They're getting separation. It's just this is nuts. Indiana, this is crazy, crazy. And now, if you're Oregon, now you need a touchdown. You need a touchdown now if you're the Ducks. That was just a wonderful touchdown catch. He beat Brandon Finney Jr. there deep, and Indiana's feeling it. But if you're the Hoosiers, you got to keep going, all gas, no brakes. Game is far from over. You still got 33 minutes and 13 seconds left in the game. Oregon's just going to let this one bounce out of the back of the end zone. They'll have it 1st and 10 at their own 25. Wow. I would have never expected this. It's not a 10 out of 10 shocking. It's more 9 out of 10 because I've always thought IU is like really, really good even with the lack of talent. But this is still like the margin is shocking, to be fair. They are going to hand it off only for a gain of 4. Starting the rushing attack. They had a hole, but it was just so quickly closed by Isaiah Jones. That's the thing. IU is there. They don't give up these big plays. Oregon's going to try to go tempo. Here, before the 2-minute warning. Poncho. And oh my gosh, is that another fumble? I think IU is a fumble. They got a takeaway. What an abject disaster. Another sack, another takeaway. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yup, just yeah, that's a fumble. That's a fumble right there. Textbook fumble. And Indiana has the football again. We'll get to the super chats, people. We'll get to them at the 2-minute warning. This is insane. This is nuts. This is crazy. They're going to run it. Nope, it's Mendoza with the keeper. Mendoza breaks a tackle. Mendoza gets inside the 20. That'll probably be the final play before the 2-minute warning, and because of that, we're going to get right to Super Chats. Okay, Cape Hill Matic. When USC fires Lincoln, do you think Glenn Schumann or Bryant Haynes will recruit better than Dan Lanning? So USC is a better recruiting base than Oregon. They do. They have a better recruiting base than Oregon. But I think Oregon's better coached. Oregon with Lanning, I mean, say this game is over. And look, if Indiana is able to get a touchdown here, it probably is over. You're not coming back down 28 on this team. That would be nuts. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know. Yeah, just this is insane. It's 28-7 and IU as the football. It's crazy. But to answer your question, Cape Hill, I think Glenn Schumann would probably be the better recruiter, but if Haynes is deeply involved in why Indiana is this good, you probably would take him over Schumann. This start from Oregon looks like OSU start against Miami. IU's outclassing them in every way. Yeah, and the difference is Miami is just not consistent enough to take advantage of slow starts. Indiana is. This game was always going to be determined on how Oregon started and how IU responded. And Oregon started with a pick six. And then Oregon responded, but then IU responded with a touchdown. And then they had a fumble inside their own territory for a touchdown. They then have to punt it away again, and Indiana goes on a 4-play, 61-yard drive with explosives. And this game, like, Indiana isn't even, like, box score dominating them. It's the scoreboard. They're dominating on the scoreboard. This is nuts. Like, look at go right now, game on paper. Okay, I'm going to pin this so that all of you can see this. I'm going to restore the chat. We'll get back to the super chats here. Look at these metrics. Look at them. Look at what Indiana is doing on a per play efficiency. It's nuts. This shouldn't be possible with the talent they have. And look, I picked Indiana to win. So if anyone is going to come at me and say, you doubted IU. No, I did not pick them to win by this much, and we don't know if they will. We don't. But yeah, I mean, this is insane. They are whipping Oregon. They're whipping them right now. I've really enjoyed your coverage of the Rose Bowl and Peach Bowl. Also, it is over. Hoosiers. Thank you, Apex Racing, for the $5. Don't know if it's over yet, but let's see. Is this more IU being great or Oregon sucking? It's the ultimate combo of both. Oregon's not 21 points worse. nor are they 28 points worse if Indiana happens to get a score here. They're going to hand it off with Kalon Black. Black is able to get maybe a gain of 7 or 6 there. So it's going to be third and very short. And I think Oregon took a timeout. Yup, Oregon did take a timeout. Wow. And that's probably smart by Lanning because Indiana gets ball at a halftime. Oh boy. Third and 3 for IU. Third and 3. This is just catastrophic for Oregon. Whew, third and 3 does... Okay, so I'm curious. Does Indiana run it? It's not even going to matter. They're going to pick it up anyway out of the backfield. They pick up the first down. No illegal play. Clock's going to continue to move. And I think Oregon just called their second timeout. Yup. That's what Oregon did. Oregon is trying to just preserve time so they can get a shot at scoring here. This is just it. This is bad. I mean, 2 short drives, a pick 6, 2 long drives in which IU just tears up that secondary. Mendoza's averaging over 10 per pass attempt. This is nuts. It's just nothing to say, really. First and goal for IU. They just keep picking up these third downs. They're efficient. They're telling the crowd to quiet down so that they can get things right. They are going to hand it off to Hemby. Hemby bursts through. Hemby, they say he's down at the 1. It's going to be second and goal. They say 1 or 2. They're going to place it at the 1. And at this point, Indiana's just going to let that clock wind. Wow. It's been Indiana's defense. The pick 6, 3 sacks, a forced fumble, the TFLs, like not letting Oregon run the ball after that first drive. That's what the story is going to be. Right here, right now. It's going to be a toss. Hemby's going to be bottled up at the 2. That was a big play there by the Oregon defense. Tried to probably get a bit too cute with the toss. I understand you don't want to be repetitive, but probably a bit too cute. Oregon spends their final timeout. So Oregon at best is going to get this football back with like 20 seconds left, and IU gets the ball out of the half. Third and goal. Man, oh man. And Indiana's just getting pressure. I mean, Oregon right now, if you count sacks with the rushing yards, is averaging a half yard per carry. Do they run it? Or Oregon is like 6 guys up the line of scrimmage. And they got a touchdown. Little screen pass fell in. It's going to be 35-7 with 59 seconds left to go. 2-yard receiving touchdown by Elijah Surratt. What a performance. Pro-con 32. If IU goes on to win this game and they play like this against Miami, does Miami stand a fighter's chance? No. They do not. They do not stand that. Yeah, they're going to review that, but I think he got in the end zone. I mean, the ref was right there. That's elite body control by Surratt, and it's almost batted down. He's in. There's not enough evidence to overturn that. Pro-con 32, Miami's not going to win if Indiana plays that way. They're not going to. Now, Miami could end up winning, sure, but this IU team is just, this is crazy. Crazy. I think he's in, personally. He's in. Like, his butt hit right, like, and the ball's just touching the white. They're not going to have enough to overturn that. That's insane. And the call's upheld. So it's going to be 35-7, and Oregon's going to have, I mean, you only have 31 minutes left in the game to overcome a 28-point lead. Wow. Yep, 35-7. Oh boy, so Oregon's going to have no timeouts, a minute left on the clock. It's an epic disaster where IU, I mean, the live line is IU minus 27.5. That's nuts. That's insanity. Live line's 27.5. It's crazy. It's unbelievable. The total's going to go over unless IU keeps their starting defense out and they put Alberto Mendoza in, like, right in the third quarter. It's nuts. So 1st and 10 for Oregon. And Oregon is barely losing the TOP battle, but in reality, with all the turnovers and changes, Indiana is definitely more rested. Like, psychologically, physically, they're not having to constantly come back in and out, really. They're constantly having to go out, and they're amped with all the plays that they've been making or all the fumbles they've recovered. Moore faces a sim pressure, and Moore is going to be flustered out of the pocket. He's going to heave it deep, and it's caught. No, out of bounds, knocked out anyway. It's going to be 2nd and 10 with 51 seconds left in the half. I mean, this is just nuts from like an EPA angle. It's crazy. Wow. 2nd and 10. Indiana going to bring some sim pressures again. Dante Moore over the middle. It is caught. That is by Malik Benson. It is going to be for a first down with 45 seconds to go. They're going quick tempo. Moore, well protected. Moore probably got held there. And yeah, they're going to call holding, and it's going to be thrown away. 36 seconds left. Yep, holding on Oregon. Indian only got 3. There is an injury, though. But it's going to be a long down for Oregon, and bad just goes to worse. Wow. Yep, so 1st and 20 for the Ducks. They're going to have it at about their 30. This is insane. They're getting pressure on Moore again. Flips it. Incomplete. Going to be 2nd and 20. 32 seconds left. I mean, he's under pressure now. Indiana's figured out how to confuse that Oregon O-line. Dante Moore, it's going to be a screen, and unfortunately for Oregon, he will be tackled short on the 3rd down. They're going to need to go quickly to the line. Ten seconds left. And they pick up the 1st down with 6 seconds left to go. But they're going to have to go quickly, and this is probably going to have to be an end zone shot unless they want to try a long field goal. Oh, nope, they spike it. They're going to have 3 or 4 seconds left on the clock. Yeah, I mean, you got 30 minutes left in the game. 30 minutes. If you're Oregon, you kind of need the Hail Mary here. Going to be 2nd and 10. They're going to try a very long field goal by Atticus Sappington. And you know, if they make it, it's going to be the same score as the Illinois game at the half. Okay, please give me an actual, like, accurate view. And no good. It's short. So that's your halftime score, ladies and gentlemen. 35-7, and IU receives the second half kickoff. A bludgeoning in Bloomington. An absolute bludgeoning in Bloomington. Okay, we got another super chat. It is stunning to see IU rise. They will win it all, says Mega Eing. Thank you for the $2, by the way. Thanks. Thanks. Appreciate it a lot. Weston C9Q. I think OSU might be the only team to hang with IU when the season is over, so chill, Buckeye fit. Yeah, I mean, Ohio State played IU closer, like on-field play, both times than Oregon did. I want to bring up this comment from Bald Father Betts. The landing needs to go stuff is ridiculous, but there does need to be some internal discussion in that program as to how this has happened 2 years in a row. Yes. I mean, the whole Oregon staff is like going on, the whole thing about Oregon's staff being away for the portal, that certainly doesn't help, but it should not result in this. Like, they can't defend sim pressures. They've gotten worse at running the ball. Indiana's gotten better at stopping the run and running the ball since that game. And, like, they can't cover Indiana's receivers. It's crazy. Lanning does not need to go. He does not. And as Chuck said, I'll say it again, those coordinators leaving Oregon was huge. It does not result in this. Like, this... So this isn't just a coordinator thing. Like, Indiana's starters are, based on this game and probably the season, they're better than Oregon's starters. And that shouldn't happen. It shouldn't. That's also what's going on. It is not just a, like, thing. Wow. Craziness. Wow. Wow. Crazy. Oh boy. I mean, if you're Lanning, what do you say in the locker room? I mean, think about it. It was 34-8 halftime of the Rose Bowl last year. Now it's 35-7. Like, what do you say? It's insane. This is it's crazy. Like, 35-7. It's Indiana is on a 28-0 run. They're minus 100,000 to win. This is crazy. Absolutely insane. I need to see Oregon Twitter right now. Wow. Looks like Duck fans are being respectful, as they were leading up to the game. That's good. Wow. Crazy. Okay, so this is an interesting conversation I want to discuss. I'll say it again. I can't tell which Oregon performance was worse, this or the Rose Bowl last year. I honestly can't tell. So it depends, I would say. Um, Oregon was an underdog in both games. Last year, the public was on Oregon. This year, the public was on IU. Oregon's more talented than Indiana from a recruiting standpoint. Ohio State last year was much more talented than Oregon from a recruiting standpoint. Power ratings had IU winning by more. Like, as they had them, FPI had IU winning this game by 5, neutral field. Last year, I think it had OSU winning by like 2, neutral field. I'd say it's probably this game because this has happened to Lanning before, and you hope that like fantastic coaches learn from this type of stuff. And also the talent difference. Like, in theory, Oregon should have the talent edge here. On paper, they absolutely should, and they don't. Maybe in the two deep they do, but as I said on Twitter, like, their starters are more physical, they are stronger, and they have better athletic matchups against their Oregon counterparts than the other way around. Like, it's Indiana's not 28 points better than Oregon, but they're certainly better than Oregon, and today they've had the better game plan and they've been coached better. I mean, Moore has been put in a blender. Oregon's rushing attack has been put in a blender. Indiana's doing almost whatever they want defensively outside of that one scripted drive. And, I mean, Mendoza's averaging 10 yards per pass attempt. It's insane. I mean, I am like the biggest... It's probably... I and Buffton Prime are the biggest backers of IU for like channels that have a good following. Buffton Prime was much more aggressive than I was in the picks. He's probably going to be more correct than I was. This is just... It's nuts. Okay, I need to see this. I need to bring this up. Thank you for the super chat, Killer Panda 7405. Michigan could have hired Kurt. Instead, we hire a Gooner. Now, to be fair, Cignetti was at Indiana before Harbaugh decided to move on, to be absolutely fair. So I really don't think Michigan could have hired him. No. Now, could they have poached him from Indiana? Sure. But, like, to be fair to Ward, who saw this coming? Besides Cignetti himself and the team. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, this performance is probably worse than the Rose Bowl. Especially since Ohio State has more NFL talent than Indiana does. And with the bye theory. Like, there are more explanations that don't necessarily entirely fall on Lanning in last year's game that almost exclusively fall on Lanning here. Like, because last year you could still say, well, Lanning just doesn't have the players Day does yet. Well, here, he doesn't have the players Cignetti does starting, but he should, based on recruiting. And recruiting is this proven source for national champions and who wins it all and who are the top teams. I'm a believer in the BCR. I'm more of a believer in the BCR now than I was. I just took exception to IU because IU's looked so good. And at some point, when you've played this many games and you've beaten this many top teams, you look the part so much that you may as well be. It's like fake it till you make it. They've been winning at a high level without blue chip talent for so long that I almost assume they have blue chip talent. They play like it. They're that fast. They're that hard hitting. They're that well coached. They have that program. So I just kind of took exception and said, yeah, they basically have blue chip talent. I'm going to take that out of my mental model only for IU, because I didn't really do that with Tech. Part of the reason I picked Oregon to win is I thought that Tech would have scaling issues and their talent would come to bite them, and it did. That offense was horrid. But with Indiana, I've seen it enough to where I can compartmentalize and take it out and say, hey, like this is there are rules and rules are meant to be broken. This is the one exception to the rule. That will be the case even if Miami beats Indiana. The way that they've put on these beatdowns means they could have won it all. And this will be the best power-rated team in America. I mean, I mean, so here's what I say if you are Oregon, a takeaway that I can have before the reaction. You cannot promote within house with coordinators. You can't. You got to go out and find something different in response to this loss because it's bad. Wow. I don't really have words. Okay. I cannot believe it. The line on Indiana versus Miami now is Indiana minus 7.5. I imagine sharps and public will be in agreement that Indiana will win by that much because models will have Indiana favored by like 6. Models will. I mean, look at FPI. FPI right now would have Indiana favored by 8. And they'll have them probably favored by closer to 10 after today. And again, FPI, now that these teams have played like 15 games, has a wonderful understanding of the game. They do. I mean, this is just, it's nuts. This is cracked, to say the least. Absolutely cracked. So yeah, Chuck, the spread for Indiana versus Miami, it's already moved to 7. What Bald Father has said. With public perception, it's going to move to 7.5. Right now, it is IU minus 7.5 with plus juice. So Miami plus 7.5 is minus 122 on the hypothetical line. I mean, models after this game will probably tell you it's about IU minus 7, and some will have it by more than that. Like FPI, in reacting to this big score and the fact that Oregon was viewed by efficiency as the second best team and by FPI as the third best, I mean, Indiana will probably jump up by a point or two and be favored by 8 or 9 or maybe even 10. FPI is pretty aggressive. I mean, they've loved Indiana for pretty much the whole year ever since they crushed Illinois. Who said Oregon is a disgrace? Oh, Scott Mack 3539. Is he I think he might be an Oregon fan. I mean, if he's an Oregon fan, he has the right to say that. I'm not going to push back on that fan base being illogical because this is bad. It's nuts. I will also tell you guys, I do not think Indiana is going to do this to Miami. Could they? Yes. Will they? I have no freaking idea. I probably wouldn't pick them. I'll probably pick them to beat Miami by like double digits because they keep putting on these performances. But by more than 2 touchdowns, no. I have to hedge with all bets. That's why this is a predictions channel. We call our shot. We've been on IU for basically the entire year, but we don't get too out of hand with it. Did Signetti talk today about how to humiliate Oregon before the game? You know what? He probably did. I mean, coaches talk. Coaches share information. He probably did. Like, he probably had conversations with Oregon's opponents. Wow. I'm still in shock. Yeah, this is hilarious. Ohio State fans are boasting about their loss to IU. That's insane. Wow. Belisari, good to see you back on the channel. Washington Husky fans are over the moon, says Jim Cook. As a longtime IU fan, this is crazy to witness, even with our success in the regular season. Yeah, it's crazy. It's surreal. You know, I don't know if you're going to win it all. The odds are going to strongly suggest that you do. I do. After Sharps, because some Sharps were on Alabama. All of them were pretty much on Oregon. I think you'll be hard pressed to find anyone on Miami. If anything, the sharp side might be IU, depending on where the line is. The public might be on Miami. Not the whole public. The public will be on IU, but there might be like the very stupid part of the public that thinks that Miami will win outright because, you know, they're the person who always picks the underdog. Like, you'll have that. Sam, what do you say to the Sharps? I say to the Sharps, because I know one personally, and he's smarter and better at picking games than I am. Even though he was on Oregon, he's smarter than I am, better at his job than I am. I'm lucky that I got this one right. Like, yes, I called it, but I think that my message to all my message to the Sharps will be is just watch the game and make adjustments, and they will. I don't have any vindictive messaging to them. They were wrong here because Sharps are successful at betting. Their models told them that Oregon had a talent edge, and I can't blame them for following that. They followed it. Now they see, oh shoot, Indiana at least this year is probably the exception to the rule. I'm going to make adjustments. That's all that needs to be said there. Nothing else. And let's not do this dumb let's not be sub 100 IQ troglodytes. Rant jams. Indiana would not beat the New York Jets. The New York Jets would beat Ohio State of last year. They'd beat Michigan of the year prior. They'd beat both Georgia teams. They'd beat every Nick Saban Alabama team. They'd beat this Indiana team. Like, come on, guys. Let's not do this stuff. Let's not do this. Show your ball knowledge. Show your ball knowledge. Please. Show it. Show it. Don't come in here and be stupid. Don't do that. Don't do it. We're not stupid on college football with Sam. Not that that specific person is a total moron, but that was a very moronic comment. Very moronic comment. Sam, what about your chalice that Josh Pate owes you? I will proudly display it. Proudly display it. And we will end this stream early. We'll end it early. Like, if, say it's a 28-point game in the fourth quarter, still, and, like, we got 10 minutes left in the thing, and Indiana's either extended the lead or whatnot, yeah, we're ending it early, and we're going to start taping the reaction, because this is just nuts. This is insane. Every part of this is insane. I mean, you got to wonder what's going on in, like, Oregon's mind. Like, do they even want to be there? This was a spot of revenge. IU fans are now coming back in the stands. A lot of it's emptied out for halftime. Or that could be the Oregon fans. I imagine some Oregon fans left at half. Like, this is going to be a blowout. It is right now. Indiana gets the ball. 15 minutes left in the third. 30 minutes left in the game. 1st and 10 for Indiana. They are steamrolling the Ducks. Steamrolling them. TOP pretty split. Indiana only has like a 54-yard advantage. Both have 9 first downs. Indiana's been better on third down, and they've just looked more efficient overall and stronger. Mendoza's still in the game at quarterback, as you would expect. 28-point lead in the third quarter is pretty big, but maybe not as large as you'd expect, and there was a false start in Indiana out of the half. Is Cignetti pissed? I imagine he would be. Yup, false start on Indiana. Right out of the gate. They are going to hand it off to Roman Hemby. Hemby is able to get through a hole to pick up 2 yards. It's going to be 2nd and 13. And you know Indiana's going to use like that entire play clock. You know they're going to use that. Mendoza, back to pass. A corner route is open, and Surratt has picked up a first down. He beat number 21 for the Ducks, 21 being Aaron Flowers. Again, like any of Indiana's receivers on Flowers is a mismatch. You're putting a strong safety who's meant to be over a tight end on NFL receivers. Because at this point, like Surratt and Cooper are day 3. Surratt I know is a day 2 pick. And Charlie Becker is playing well enough to be an NFL pick at some point too. And Flowers is also a redshirt freshman. So first down for Indiana. They're moving the football. They're going to run it with Hemby. Hemby tries to get through a hole initially. And he is really only going to pick up a gain of 1, maybe 2. Bryce Betcher on the stop. Oregon's defense trying to hype themselves up a bit. Get some energy. I think it's going to be 2nd and 9. Yep, 2nd and 9. It's just a 1-yard gain. Hemby comes off the field. Drop back for Mendoza. He's well protected, and it's caught by Becker anyway. Over, like, Finney. See, this is the thing. Finney had good coverage there. That was not a bad play by Finney, but Becker just had longer arms and was able to catch it, and it was a perfect throw by Mendoza. So they pick up the first down, extend the chains, and that throw, like, part of me was thinking, oh boy, is that going to be picked off and, like, returned for 6? Because that's a throw where if that's not on the money, that's a pick 6 by Finney, who's really good. Finney's an all-American, certainly all Big Ten caliber corner. They are going to hand it off to Kalon Black. Black stutter steps. Black gets inside the 40. It's going to be second and short, maybe a first down. Nice blocking there, nice hole, nice vision. Nope, that's going to be a first down. 1st and 10 at the Oregon 39 is going to be a pass for Mendoza. Mendoza's going to run. Mendoza's going to pick up a gain of 5 with his legs. Indiana working that clock, keeping Oregon's defense on the field, extending. I mean, their receivers are getting separation. They're protecting him well. Mendoza's seeing the field well. I mean, they look better. They look like the better team. Nearly an offsides there for Oregon. It is going to be another handoff to Hemby. Hemby's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. That was a good play there by number 28, being Bryce Betcher. So it's going to be 3rd down and medium. This Indiana drive has been, 4-minute drive, approximately. They're going to go quickly up to the line. Mendoza's going to take off, and Mendoza is going to have... Oh, wow, that was a very fortuitous bounce. He fumbled it, but Coogan recovered it. See, that's the thing, too. Indiana's the better team, but everything's been going IU's way this game, and that's why the margin's this big. Indiana's not 28 points better than Oregon. They are essentially, at this point, +4 in turnovers, with actually +5 with the recovery. Every turnover's bounced their way. Mendoza trying to do a bit too much there. I understand you want to, if you make this a 35-point game, it's over. And, I mean, they're not coming back 42-7 with how you've been driving. I understand you want that, but you got to be disciplined. You got to put this one away. Hemby's going to run it up the middle, just chew more clock. Again, it's like, Mendoza's been killing them with his legs, just like the first game. I think that's what you got to be pissed about if you're Oregon. Sack adjusted, IU's running better than the first game. Oregon's not running as well. Indiana's dominating fundamentals even better than the first game. And all these different things. I mean, this is a long drive. This is like a snake, boa constrictor type drive. It's going to be another handoff to Hemby. Hemby this time I think picks up a gain of maybe 5. It's going to be 3rd and short. Gain of 4. So 3rd and 5 at the Oregon 13. They're chewing clock here. It's about to be halfway through the 3rd quarter. Indiana given a 99.8% chance to win this game per FPI. Oh my gosh. Wide open, busted coverage. EJ Williams gets in to make it 41-7. Wow. Yeah, bald father. Yeah. Now you okay, this is over. This game's over. That's it. 35 points. It's a 5-score lead, even if you get 4 touchdowns with 2-point conversions. Now you got to pull Fernando. You just got to run it. I don't care if you punt it. Pull Fernando. It's over. 42-7, it's over. That's just bonkers. I mean, they have over 20 minutes of TOP. They've crossed 200 yards. They've crossed 250, really. Mendoza's averaging 10.8 yards per attempt. IU's broken 100 yards. If you take out the sack, they are 124. They're 124 for 27. They're averaging like 4.5 yards per carry. You take out the sack for the Ducks, We're more at a long rush of 6, and he's been sacked, I think, 3 times. You take that out, and Oregon's only averaging like 3 still. So this is... Wow. Yeah, they got it. They got to pull Fernando now. I mean, Oregon, if you're worried about Oregon coming back, that final touchdown may have broken Oregon. Like there's a good chance they come out and punt and totally quit after that. It's 42-7. They've already scored more points than Ohio State did in them. And remember, Ohio State only scored 1 touchdown in that second half. They gotta take Mendoza out. And Alberto can throw. He's not nearly as good as Mendoza, but he's a better runner, and he can throw. And say if Oregon goes on a run again, you can just put Fernando Mendoza back in the game. At this point, I don't think they'll do that. Okay. Wow. This is nuts. Nuts. This is crazy. Okay, so I'm going to get out this preview early because at this point we're probably going to stop the live show like with 10 or 5 minutes left in the fourth. And I want to hear Lanning's postgame. I want to hear that crap. Like I need to hear his explanation for this. Cuz this is trash. This is awful. .8:52 left in the third quarter. It's 23 minutes and 52 seconds of glory. Is someone hurt? Becker. Looks like Becker is jogging off, but he's probably done for the night. That doesn't look like a too terrible of an injury. He's able to put some weight on it, but limping. That could be a big loss if he's not ready to go for the natty. Good news is you have a long rest for that. So it's 42-7. Indiana, they're on a 35-0 run. Dante Moore is going to try to pitch it outside. And that might be a touchdown. That is going to be a touchdown. Yup. Oregon already has a big play to try and regain some momentum. A long pitch down to De'Aaron Hill Jr., first and goal. That's the big play that they need. That right there is the athletic edge Oregon has over Indiana on full display. The problem is it's come, 42-7. That's the problem. It's come down 35. And are you really going to be able to, And they're going to call PI on Pons there. That's PI. That's like textbook PI. Got a big play there by De'Aaron Hill Jr. Pass interference. It'll be placed down inside the 10. Holy moly. I mean, if Oregon scores here, I imagine they'll keep Mendoza out for another drive to try and make it long. Imagine if they don't score here. That would be pretty funny, Baldfather. But they will. They'll get a touchdown. They got to. They gotta score. They gotta score here. They're going to. Oh, they did get in. Touchdown, Oregon. So that was a quick score, which they needed. Got to imagine Cignetti's pissed with his players there. Jay Harris with the 2-yard rushing touchdown. And Indiana's going to be back on the field here. And they are going to go for 2. Try and make it a 27-point game. Instead of a, 28-point game. But if they don't get it correctly, it'll be a 29-point game. It'll just make matters worse. And they got it. So 42-15, Oregon breaks that run, and it's a 27-point lead for Indiana. Very quick score there. Very quick score. But too little too late for the Ducks, probably. Wow. Indiana still with a 99.8% chance to win, which makes sense. You're ahead by 27 with, basically 2/3 of the game over if you factor in halftime. And yeah, Baldfather, that keeps Fernando in longer because you're going to want to at least have... You want to at least have, one more long drive, get a touchdown, and then fourth quarter, even if Oregon goes on a, 14-0 or 21-0 run, it's still game over if you reestablish a big lead. Wow. Yep. Is not good for Indiana after that quick play. That's on the defense. And now Oregon, if you take out the sacks, is very much out rushing IU, but it doesn't matter. It was off one explosive play. That was Oregon's probably first explosive play of the day. Came very late in the game. Too late. Wow. So IU leads by 27. It's 42-15. It was a 28-point game at the half. 7:50 left in the third quarter. We'll probably be live, guys, until 10 or 5 minutes left in the fourth, depending on what this score is. If it's a 5-score lead with 10 minutes left in the fourth, we're turning this off. We're shutting it down. So Oregon's going to kick this football away. Indiana will let it bounce in the back of the end zone for a touchback. They're going to have it 1st and 10. Let's get this game up to over 100 likes, by the way. Like, subscribe. Yeah, Bull, they're not onside kicking because they think their defense has a better chance of forcing a punt than them recovering an onside. If IU recovers the onside, they're almost certainly getting a field goal while burning time. It's the right call to kick it off, I think. Yep, Mendoza's still in. They're going to hand it off to Black, and they're going to get him for holding, but Black is probably going to go for a touchdown. So it'll be called back for holding, but it looks like an Oregon player is a little bit shaken up. Yeah, Oregon's defenders look gassed. That's going to be a hold on IU. And it's going to be an injury timeout. So I don't know how far that brought back the hold. Oh, it's going to be 1st and 20. Bray Lynch. So this is a drive where, look, because of that flag, Oregon could get the ball back. Try to make this interesting. If you're IU, though, you have not taken your foot off the gas. It's really going to be 1st and 20? Wow. Yeah, that's big for the Ducks. That is a big penalty for the Ducks. And they're stopping the clock to check something. I don't know exactly what they're checking. Becker is back in the game. It's a good sign for the Hoosiers. They are going to hand it off to Hemby. Hemby is able to get through, pick up maybe 3 or 4 yards. Clock will continue to be milked. Going to be 2nd and 17. Mendoza back to throw. And it is caught over the middle by Riley Nowakowski. It's going to set up a 3rd and medium. Well, 3rd and 4. Yeah, so 3rd and medium. Mendoza back to throw. And it's going to be caught by Elijah Surratt for a 1st down. It's a killer. It's a comedy of errors right there. They extend it. Coogan lost his helmet. It's a comedy of errors. Like, you could get off the field there, get some momentum, but now IU continues to be able to chew clock. And really, like, slowly drag you through the mud. Hemby, through the middle, gets some help from his friends. That's probably, oh, no injury. It's a gain of 4. It's going to be 2nd and 6. They are going to hand it off. Big hole up the middle for Kalon Black, and I think Black got enough for the first down. No, very close, though. Very close. It's going to be third and very short. Third and 3. So not third and very short, but third and short regardless. This is probably a passing down for Indiana. Under 20 minutes left total in the game. Indiana leads by 27. Will they convert another third down? And they're going to call it incomplete. So he's looking for him deep. It's going to be 4th and 3. And Indiana will have to punt this thing away back to Oregon. So Oregon does get a stop. They were looking for a kill shot there. And they're going to send out the punting unit, which is the wise choice. You only have 19 minutes and 19 seconds left in the game. There's no indication that Oregon's just going to be able to march down the field. They have that one big play. So Indiana will punt this football away. Oregon going to come after it. And Oregon will be pinned deep inside the 10 with 19 minutes and 10 seconds left in this game. All 3 timeouts, 2-minute warning, down by 27. Amazing punt for Indiana. And Oregon will see the field. I have lived in Oregon for the record, have never lived in Indiana, but my allegiance is to UNLV. That's a funny comment. Very funny comment. Yeah, Indiana's 9 of 11 on third down. Oregon's 4 of 6. Wow. Sam, you got your 100 and then some. LOL. Thank you. I appreciate that. Really do appreciate it. Yeah, this is crazy. Guys, crazy, crazy, crazy. If I were IU, I may have ran it like on that 3rd and 3, but it's late in the game. They probably wanted to go for the kill shot. Okay, Chuck, you've given me another super chat. I'm obligated to give you a score prediction now. Okay. Sam, give us your natty pick with the score. I am going to go with Indiana 31 and Miami 14. Very early. Subject to change. That's going to be my natty pick right now with the score. Thank you, Chuck, for the $5. I appreciate it. Now the game is back on. Oregon has to go 95 yards to score. How quickly can they do that? Again, the clock rolls, which does not help at all. Clock's rolling. They're going to hand it off and only pick up a gain of 3. And it looks like there might be... Nope. He's okay. Nope. Johnson's going to have to exit. It's Jamari Johnson. Yeah, he has to exit due to the injury timeout. He has to come out. Clock's going to roll again. Now, you imagine Oregon's going to just try to go for big plays here. If you're Indiana, you can give up a long drive because time is not Oregon's friend. So you see they're in two high safety. They're probably expecting Oregon to run. And they try to run it again, and there's just nothing going. It's a loss of 1. And there's a flag on the play. Don't know what happened there. I think it might be I don't know who it's on, but Oregon's acting like it's on them. Yup, it's on them. Face mask on Oregon, so they're backed up even further. That was Harkey pulling the face mask of someone on the ground. That's a super undisciplined move. There's just no reason to do that. It's like salt in the wound. And that's after the play's over. So now it's a 3rd and very long from the 3 for Oregon. Clock's still going. Wonder if Indiana might get a safety here. Sim pressure brought by IU. They are going to go deep, and it is caught. Wow. Deep down the sidelines, and they convert. Long, deep pass. They gave him time to throw, and Oregon converts, and they're out to the 50. Beat D'Angelo Pons deep there. That probably should have been called PI. Yeah, but that's a catch. Now, my question is, who called the timeout? Or are they reviewing it? I think they're reviewing it. Yeah, commercial breaks are so annoying. Oregon's not quitting, though. Oregon is not quitting. They are not quitting. The problem is they only have... Now it's 17 and a half minutes, basically. They're already taking an uncomfortable amount of time. Well, it's actually only 1 minute, 22 seconds. Why are they calling a timeout? It's just so insane. Let's get this game back on and let's get it over with. I know you have to get your commercials through, but I want to, if Oregon scores here, you kind of make it a little interesting because you got momentum. If they don't, and they're probably just going to go for it until they score or turn it over here, then, I can see myself out. Like, come on. Enough of the commercials. Let's get to this. Okay, so it's 1st and 10 for Oregon. They're at their 48. And that's a 1st down for Oregon. Little screen pass there. IU was a bit too aggressive. Oregon picks up a 1st down to extend the chains. They're at the IU 40. So they're moving this football. They're moving. They're going quick tempo. They're going to do a little play action. And it's out of bounds, incomplete. They've rotated at O-line, too. Like, Oregon has a different set of offensive linemen in the game. They're going to run it and pick up about a gain of 1. That was Mario Landino on the play with the stop. They bring back in Alex Harkey. Third and 9 for the Ducks. Indiana looks like they're going to bring a sim pressure. Let's see if Oregon can protect it. They almost do. They may have picked up a 1st down there. Might be a 4th and 1. It's going to be a 4th and 1. So they're going to go for this, obviously. They're going to bring in extra offensive linemen. You got 16 minutes left in the game total. Clock ticking. IU substitutes. Wouldn't be shocked if they take a shot here. If you're Indiana, you let them pick up the 1 yard in exchange for burning more clock off. And they don't get it. They do not get it. Wow. They tried the pitch. They tried to be physical, and IU just stonewalled them. Yeah, that is game. Now it's over. And I see people are talking about Baldfather. Like, he's right. The game is closer than the score indicates. Like, Indiana is the better team. More time, like, probably 6, 7, or 8 times out of 10, Indiana wins against Oregon neutral field, maybe more. But they're not 27 points better than Oregon. Every potential turnover has gone Indiana's way, whether recovering their own fumbles or getting all of Oregon's mistakes. That play wasn't a fluke. The Pons play was not a fluke. And Moore and Oregon are more turnover prone than IU. Make no mistake about it. Now, Hemby is going to run, and that'll be the final play of the 3rd quarter. So now this game's probably over. I've seen craziness. I've seen it. That's probably game, but you never want to say so until it is. But for Indiana fans, what a season you've had. Sam, just wanted to emphasize again how much we appreciate all your hard work, deep dive analysis, and coverage as always. It's always important to reiterate this then and now. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Hummingbird in a Hurricane. I appreciate it. And I think you're an Oregon fan, right? Right? So I appreciate that. Thanks. Baldfather, we should be getting Alberto because at this point, Lanning will probably still call his timeouts, whatever. But I imagine after that stop, Oregon's just done. Like, nothing you've done really outside of that one big play hasn't worked. And also shout out to Will Stein for being 10 gins deep on that play call. They probably could have ran it up the middle and got it, but they tried to be cute. Shout out to him. Like that guy is 10 bourbons deep and probably thinking about Kentucky. Shout out to him. Wow. Yeah, the box score versus game score is wild. Like, yes, IU's winning TOP, they're winning third down, winning penalty, winning first down, winning yards, not by much. If Oregon could be winning if you flip all the turnover stuff their way, but that would be flukish. The mean result of this game is Indiana wins. The mean result. If this game is played again, Indiana's favored by more or the same, and Sharps are probably are more balanced. But yeah, these teams are closer than the score indicates. It's just Indiana took advantage of all of Oregon's mistakes, and Oregon never capitalized. Oh, you don't really have a personal stake in this game. Well, thank you for letting me know. UNLV. So you're a UNLV fan. That's fascinating. That is fascinating, for sure. Fascinating. Well, we have a UNLV fan here, so thank you. All right, so 2nd and 7. It's 42-15. I have an entire fourth quarter left to go. All Oregon did was outscore IU by a point. That's all they did. That's all they did. Indiana has almost ran for double the amount of times that they've passed. I made a prediction before the game that Mendoza would not pass for 200 yards, but not because Oregon shut him down, and that's come to life. He's been exceptional. It's just Indiana hasn't needed to pass it enough to win. Indiana there runs it for a gain of 2, so it's going to be 3rd and 5. Clock rolling now in the Hoosiers' favor. Fernando is still in the game, by the way. I imagine after this series, if they burn, I imagine under 10 minutes to go, if it's the same score, they'll take him out. But they probably want one more third down conversion. Is it dumb? Probably, but Cignetti's also a psycho. And that's incomplete. So 4th and 5, Mendoza, for whatever reason, tried to go deep there. Got 14 minutes, 16 seconds left on the clock. So Indiana will have to punt this football back. I saw what Mendoza was trying to do there. But the ball, that probably should have been called PI. I know the ball was out of bounds, but it was catchable if they didn't, if they didn't drag him down, that would have been catchable. It doesn't really matter, though. Like, Indiana's going to win. Oregon might win the rushing battle. And there's going to be a block in the back on Oregon. So Oregon will have it with 14:04. There's good sportsmanship between the teams. They're patting each other on the sidelines there. You're going to have 14 minutes, 4 seconds left, and you're going to have to drive like 80 yards to get the touchdown. ESPN buzzed down and said they were losing fourth quarter viewers and to hold that flag. Yeah, that was insane. And it is very hard to beat a good team twice, which, as Baldfather said, testament to just how damn good Indiana is, really. And we got a commercial break. Wow. Big 12 refs are reffing it. Which, to be fair, the Big 12 does not know what a forward pass is because they don't have elite QB play, and their best QB is Devin Dampier, who's just good. Yep, 4th and 10. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the Oregon 15. They're going to need to go like 85 yards. And at this point, everything is probably going to have to be a pass, I would say. As a Duck fan, says Metal Terra, I'm going to 100% root for Indiana to win it all flawlessly. And they've taken national title odds off the books. So they've taken it off the books. I mean, I don't think IU will score another touchdown at this point. Final score will probably be 42-23, 42-21. Maybe Oregon goes on, a 22-23, even 24-0 run, but IU still wins by double digits and just let their foot off the gas. Yup. 1st and 10 for Oregon with 14 minutes left in the game, 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. I mean, Indiana's been the better team here. But if you're Oregon, you want to probably fight for some pride. Put another few points up on the board. Try to not totally, try to go into the preseason feeling like you at least did something correctly. Oh my gosh, yeah. They try to do like a little bit of like a, tight end pass to the backfield on an RPO, and IU got a TFL. So it's going to be 2nd and 11. Oregon trying to go quickly, but, you go too quickly and that can result in some mistakes. They do get it out quickly. Gain of 5, but the clock is going to roll. Basically a minute's already been shaved off. So, and it looks like they have backups in. Well, maybe, I don't know if they do. Sim pressure. And didn't complete. He was looking for Jamari Johnson and just threw an incomplete pass. Now, are they going to go for it? Or are they going to punt it and just, like, admit defeat? I think they're going to go for it. Oh, nope. Nope, they concede. They're going to punt. So that is game. That's Lanning conceding that we just want to get out of here. And yes, should have been another interception. That was a really bad throw. And delay of game, I think. Yep. So that'll be backed up even further. Just what a catastrophic day for Oregon. A few more first downs and we'll end the show. Another touchdown and the show is definitely over. Oh my gosh, it got blocked. They blocked the punt. Indiana blocked the punt. Oh my gosh. They blocked the punt. What? Oh man. I need to see this. Damn, he just got one hand on it. Why do they have Mendoza in the game still? I imagine it's just a run, and in case it's like a 3rd and long, they can pass. I imagine that's what it is. Why is he still in the game? It's over. Like, run it up the middle, take points. They are going to run it up the middle. Hemby is going to get to the 5, maybe to the 4, 4.5. Wow. They're milking the clock, though. I don't know why they're running Mendoza. It's dumb. Like, he's not going to get hurt. But I guess Signetti wants to prove a point. I think he might want to prove a point. It's dumb. You don't need to prove a point. You know, you kick a field goal, and it's still a 4-score game. Yeah, like, why are they doing that? I don't know why they're doing that. Are they going to take Mendoza out? Yeah, Signetti's going to wait to call timeout. Yup. Gosh, he's pissed. I don't know what he's pissed about, but he's pissed about something. Yeah, they should pull him. They can probably run it up the middle again and get a touchdown. Yeah, okay, so this is a good point by Hummingbird and a Hurricane. 2025 Ducks are still way better than the 2025 Tide. Regardless of how badly the Ducks botched this game, the Ducks would have handled the Tide at the very least themselves. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean, if Indiana has Mendoza for the Miami game, you know, IU fans will travel well. It is a home game for Miami, but it will not be the ratio that this current game is in favor of IU. It'll probably be 60-40 or 70-30 Miami Hurricane fans. Probably. They'll have a good IU presence there. They're not losing to Miami if Mendoza's healthy with how they've performed. They're not. They're not going to. They're not. So yeah, and we got more transfer portal news. By the way, guys, I'm taking tomorrow off. You're not going to see a live show until Monday where we'll preview everything. We already did a reaction segment. Maybe I'll do a video tomorrow, something, but I do want a day to rest so that way I can recharge. We will be back with you. We'll be back with content, like video live content on Monday. If there really is breaking news or I feel really inspired Sunday, you might see something from me then. Signetti, like yelling at the refs, like, what the bleep is going on? Or that's probably what he was saying. You think Miami should be favored? Bad A Buckeye? You think, what, Miami should be favored? Really? I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, Mendoza is still in. I have no idea what's going on. What what even is this outside of like needing to prove a point? I imagine they might drop back pass here. Yeah, Mendoza's in the game. You should just hand it off. Try to get in the end zone. Don't do anything that involves Mendoza. Just do not. Don't do it. They're going. Oh, they are going to pass, and they're going to get it to Surratt. So Mendoza doesn't get hurt. That's good. Still not a good decision to put him in the game, but Indiana gets another touchdown. And yeah, line should be IU minus 7.5. It should. Anything over that is a bit excessive, I would say. Anything under that's underrating the power ratings edge and roster edge IU has. 7.5 is perfect. That's a line where if you pick Miami to cover, I'm not going to hate you. If you pick Oregon to cover, I'll probably pick not Oregon. If I'll probably pick IU to cover that line, but I could see Indiana winning just by 7. I could see that. Yeah, now he's done. Now he's done. And I'll be done too in a few minutes. I'm going to start working on my takeaways, by the way. So, yeah. Whew. 49-15. Insanity. It's over. 34-point margin, under 12 minutes left. Rest in peace to Oregon's season. RIP. Rest in peace. Now, I would not be shocked if Oregon won the total yards battle, because just by how this game's gone, wouldn't be shocked at all. But IU is just... Look, IU's been more physical. It's why they were able to get to the blocked punt. It's why they were able to blow up a few runs. It's why they've been able to get better pressure. They've been better here. And it is going to be that's another TFL. IU just showing their discipline here. Like, has Sadiq even had, like, more than 10 receiving yards this game? No, guys, Sadiq has 2 receiving yards on 3 receptions. He's been a total non-factor here. They're going to try another quick pass, and that goes nowhere. But at this point, I just think Oregon's trying to just run their playbook, and they're not trying to, like, score quickly. Yeah, Bald Father, books did get murdered by public tonight. I mean, it might happen depending on where the side falls with IU, but I imagine I don't know. I don't know what'll happen. I don't know how the betting will look for Miami versus IU. I imagine Sharps and public would be aligned there at 7.5, or Sharps would be balanced and it would stay at 7.5. Okay, Moore back to pass. He has someone wide open. It is a first down. That's to Decorian Moore. And Lanning is just being what I could say is a leader or a father at this point. He's not mad. He's just clapping along, trying to encourage his guys because, man, has this been rough for the Ducks. They've been de-pantsed tonight. Moore back to throw, tipped in the air. Would have been picked off if Moore didn't layer it. Well, cover 3 already went live. I was going to try to get a jump on everyone, but you know what? That doesn't matter. What matters is the views and analysis. We'll cut this off after this drive, I think, guys. It's going to be a play action for Moore. They are going to pick up a first down with Sadiq. Sadiq will get out of bounds. Clock will keep rolling. Yeah, this is a butt kicking. Moore, he escapes the rollout. Hit as he throws, incomplete. 2nd and 10. Moore, back to throw. It's caught by Sadiq, but I'm pretty sure that's short of the first down. Or it's right at the mark. Nope, going to be 3rd down. 3rd and 5. The place is still packed with IU fans. They want to see every minute of this. Wow. Just total depantsing. Oregon calls their first timeout. Wow. Insane. Well, hey, guys, guess what? Indiana has 15 wins in a season. That's more than anyone in the Big Ten. More than anyone in the Big Ten, except for Michigan. And they're tied with Michigan. And they'll be favored to pass Michigan with 16 wins. Also, Amari Campbell's following Jim Knowles to Tennessee. That's a good addition for the Volunteers. Really good addition for them. I imagine IU's going to get some, like, major attention in recruiting and portal and stuff moving forward. I mean, they already have, but this is BTA, if you know what I'm saying. Moore back to throw. He's going to go deep and incomplete. No flag. 4th and 4. Oregon will go for it. Moore back to throw. Moore under pressure. He probably got held right there. And it is incomplete. So IU gets off the field, and that's going to be our live show. Like, I enjoy it with you guys. Love it. Oh, Signetti's yelling at one of his players. What? Wait, what? Why is Fernando back in? What? Okay, we need to stay live to see if he gets hurt. I hope he doesn't, but we gotta stay live. Wow. First down. Why is he in the game? I mean, if he is only handing off the football and they never ask him to pass, then that's probably okay. Wow, okay, yeah, we need to stay live because I want to see if something bad happens. I don't know why Fernando is still in. I have no idea why he would still be in. That's crazy. Oh, that's not. Oh, that might be a touchdown. No, it's not. It's just long run with great blocking. They're going to score over 50. They're going to. Kobe Martin is gashing them. They're going to make a point out of this. I mean, IU now has won the rushing battle. Just crazy. Why is he... I don't get that. It's dumb. I mean, at least he's only handing it off, but it's dumb. Take him out. I know Signetti probably wants more points, but it's more important to... I mean, maybe he's concerned they're not getting enough reps. Like, that might be it. I don't know. They have all the other... I mean, Surratt's in, but they have the backup running backs in, and they might have the backup O-line. No, they got Smith, 74, 72, 75. Yeah, they have some backup offensive linemen in. So this is not the full starting cast. They've rotated backups in. I imagine Oregon's mostly done the same. Yeah, I mean, they brought in Jericho Johnson at nose tackle. Both teams are mixing in starters and backups now. And they're going to run it. They're going to get, gain of 2. It'll be 3rd and 5. If you're Cignetti, you better not pass this. Like, just run it up the middle, make it 52-15. Everyone's going to talk about how much of an idiot Lanning is already. You don't need to show your junk is bigger than Lanning's. You've already shown that. Just don't do anything dumb. Don't do it. See, now they got Black in, and now it feels like they have the starting O-line in. And Black is gone. Touchdown, Hoosiers. Oof. Yeah, we're done. That's it. Thank you guys for watching. We'll have an instant reaction up very shortly. Very shortly. I mean, we might introduce stats at the end. We may not. I need my guy to get me stats usually, but yeah. I'm just going to go live after this. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Within probably 30 minutes, you'll get a reaction out of this. Sig smiled. He's losing his edge. Just such a meme. Such an absolute meme. Holy cow. 56-15. Okay, yep. See you guys very soon. Love y'all. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for nearly the $50 in super chats. Probably didn't put it in enough ad breaks. But I imagine we'll get tons of views after this game. I'm going to ask all the Hoosier accounts I collabed with to share it around. Is 2025 Indiana better than 2023 Michigan? I want to see how they beat Miami. If they crush Miami like how they crushed Alabama, we might have that conversation. But I don't know at this point. What I'm going to say is probably since the beginning of the 12-team playoff, it's hard to make a comparison with the 14 playoff. We've already seen plenty of differences. The sport has gotten tighter, all that different stuff. That's an off-season topic. So we'll see you guys soon. Have a great day. Love you all. Goodbye.